From Bakersfield to the corners of Kern County, the best moments from your Golden Empire gridirons. 17 Sports Director Taylor Shaw, football analyst, Renegade head coach R. Todd Littlejohn. This is FFX, the Sunday Expanded Edition. Driven by Sangera Subaru and Dignity Health, Mercy and Memorial Hospitals.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us for a special Sunday Expanded edition of FFX, or should I say the 2004 NFL Draft? Because look at you, Coach. What is this that you're rocking?
Hey, my wife, my fashion coordinator, took care of me, so.
Looks pretty clean. I love the red in spirit of the Renegades.
Absolutely.
Because you guys had a big Thursday night win. We'll
Absolutely.
get to that. But, Coach, what's it time for?
It's time to give the people what they want.
Gather round. It's time for your FFX Game of the Week, powered by SCOE, your Southern California Orthopedic Institute.
We start, as always, Coach, with our Game of the Week, known officially as the Freedom Bowl and to some as the Brian Nixon Bowl. Right. The annual matchup between Centennial and Liberty always draws a huge crowd, but with the Golden Hawks entering 7-0 and Liberty holding a 21-game winning streak in league play, you could say there was a little extra juice on homecoming night. Well, including those 21 straight victories, the Pats have won 39 out of their last 40 in the Power League. That's dominance. First quarter, Liberty on the move. Cole O'Brien to Ethan the Hanky, Coach.
Yeah, they started off early, and as we know the game, they scored often.
Yes, they did. 28 yards in the score. It's 7-0. Second quarter, we go. Liberty up 10 and prime to add more. It's Jalen Hankins on the move.
There's Hankins. Hankins just continues to thrive offensively, gives so much to their team in general.
Well, you were just speaking about him. Jalen Hankins, that's his 11th touchdown of the season in the third quarter. Pats were up 27-0 there. They absolutely roll in this one, 41-7. It's another blowout in our Game of the Week. The trophy for the Freedom Bowl goes to Brian Nixon and company. But let's take a look at Hankins' final stat line. He continues to produce, Coach.
He does, and while the numbers might not look as impressive as he has been, he just continues to show his durability and just his offensive prowess in general.
Well, Brian Nixon's group was dominant on all three sides of the ball, including defense, which was key.
Defense flying around again, you know, and we keep talking about that as building on the aggression and assignment alignment. And I thought they did a really good job, and they did a really good job with their assignments, alignments, and flew around tonight. We knew they were really good. We knew we had an uphill battle, and when you throw 3 interceptions and the ball doesn't bounce your ways a couple times, man, it'll get away from you, you know. But I thought we fought really well. Ultimately, we'll get better from it, and this is not one game's not going to define us, and we all know that. We know they're a good program. This thing wasn't built overnight. You know, they've been building this up for a long time, and ultimately they won 40 league games in a row for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to get there, and we're going to be better because of this game, and honestly, it's on to the next.
I like the attitude there from head coach Richard Sterrett.
Right, and that's exactly right. You know, this one game doesn't make or break their season. They will definitely learn from it and move forward, and then hopefully that will help them in the playoffs. Speaking
of a team moving forward, Kern's only 2 private schools facing off on Garces' homecoming night. BCHS has won 3 straight at this point. Paul Gola's group desperately needs a win. The crosstown programs last played in 2020 with the Rams besting BCHS 58-12. And in the first quarter, Garces was looking like that same team. Jordan Gallego sets the tone to Juju Smith.
There you go. And those guys, you know, they've continued to get better each week as well.
34 yards and the score. It's 8-0 Garces after the 2-pointer. Still first, Eagles soar downfield. Jordan Delgado to Chase Furtado. Big play.
Really, really big play there. A little surprised that they didn't continue with their passing attack all game long, and, you know, kind of one of those things.
Yeah, they went to the ground there. Nathan Perez gets the touchdown. So it is 8-6, little celebration, but then a little trickery. R.J. Green to Juju Smith.
Very nice play. Anytime you can, however you can score, you put it in the playbook and you bring it out.
Yeah, they were putting everything in the playbook. Garces needed a victory, and they got it. 30-13. Let's look at Smith's final stat line from this one. The wide receiver, one of the best in the counties, finally showcasing his skills both on offense and on defense.
No doubt. Hey, pretty good receiving average with those 2 catches for 75 yards as well.
Didn't catch a lot of balls, but the ones he did, he found his way to the end zone. More River League action from Stockdale. Frontier trying to keep pace with Liberty coach. First quarter Titans. Well, they were in scoring positions. Reigning FFX Player of the Week, Malachi Statler to Devin Cochran. So it's 7-0 just like that. Now we know that Statler can do it all with his legs here in the end zone.
Yes, he showed us before, and obviously having spoken to him, that young man just wants to continue to get better each week.
Ja'Cory Rush plows his way in just before half. That was Stockdale's only score of the game, but called a cakewalk for Frontier. It's 30-0. That's your final. Let's look at Statler's performance. This was not as impressive, at least statistically, but that doesn't matter to this guy.
Does not matter at all. He talked about team, and anything that he can do to help win.
Limping to the finish line, that's the best way to describe the injury-riddled Bakersfield Drillers. Highland and BHS both sitting at 3-4 coming into Friday, and it was a low-scoring affair at the old Scotland Yard. First quarter, Highland on the move. JoJo Mata hits Austin Hernandez. He tumbles his way into the end zone, so Scott's up 7-zip, and then fast forward all the way to the third, same score. BHS on the 50-yard line. Ty Monterio hooks up with Bryson Campos. I know you like him.
I do like him, and I unfortunately they didn't do enough of it. And man, I tell you, this was a tough one for me.
Yeah, that was about the only thing they did. 21-6. Highland with the big victory over BHS. Now, JoJo Mata, again, not incredibly impressive stat line, but he did enough on both sides. A dual threat quarterback.
Absolutely he did, and again, productivity. Anytime he touched the ball, he was good.
Well, in many respects, the headline coming out of Week 9 had nothing to do with football. A rash of suspected gang violence in North Kern brought a string of cancellations, leaving communities in fear. 3 South Sequoia League games were called off in the name of caution. Wasco at Delano, McFarland at Kennedy, and Taft at Chavez. The impact far-reaching. Take Thursday's Battle of the Tigers, for example. Even though the matchup was officially listed as a no contest, the loss of a league game effectively eliminates Wasco from SSL title contention. At RFK, the kids missed out on homecoming night. This was first listed as a forfeit on McFarland's end, but has since been changed to a no contest. Kennedy will now set their sights on Shafter, while McFarland and Delano's Week 10 game has been moved to Memorial Stadium out of an abundance of caution, and Chavez will have a week off after the plug was pulled on their game against Taft. The Titans are now sitting in the driver's seat of league play with only a Week 11 win away from a title. We're still ahead on FFX after outlasting the Stars in Oildale. Tehachapi sets its sights on a league title. The thrilling ending that put the Warriors in the front row seat. Plus, it's time for another installment of Taylor's Trivia. Which area running back has the most rushing yards at this point in the season? Is it A, A.J. Anderson, B, Zamir Hall, C, Israel Gonzalez, or D, Dylan Kyle? The answer when we return.
You're watching FFX, the Sunday Expanded Edition, powered by Sangera Subaru, serving Kern County for over 50 years. You're watching FFX, the Sunday Expanded Edition, powered by Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
Welcome back. Before the break, we asked you which area running back has the most rushing yards through Week 9. Is it A, A.J. Anderson, B, Zamir Hall, C, Israel Gonzalez, or D, Dylan Kyle? Well, congratulations if you guessed A as in A.J. Anderson. Double A is there. You were correct. He leads all of Kern County with just over 1,200 yards on the ground. Now, Coach, speaking of Anderson's Tehachapi Warriors, the two front runners for the newly minted Mountain League crown faced off Friday night in Oildale. North giving the Warriors a little run for their money in the second half. We're going to pick it up in the third. Warriors ahead 24-14, but the Stars are fighting back. Carson Bennett to Daniel Bragwell, Coach.
Stars are definitely fighting back. They didn't want to be outshined by Tehachapi's offense, obviously.
Outshined, I liked what you did there. 26-21, and now it is Bennett keeping it himself, breaking free, 65 yards. He doesn't get the shine that he deserves, Coach.
No, unfortunately, because of their record. However, he's a really, really good player.
And then it is A.J. Anderson. We talked about him. He leads all of Kern County backs in rushing yards, and that one may be the most important of the season. It gives Tehachapi a 32-28 lead, and they would hold on. They would win this game. They move to 8-1. The final 32-28. Now let's look at Anderson's stat line. Incredibly impressive, making the case for the FFX MVP.
Yes, he is. And, as we talked about him earlier in the year, he just continues to stay very productive with their offense.
Well, if Week 8 was all about blowouts, then this past Friday was all about suspense. One-score games ruled the roost. Here's a look back around the county. Homecoming night at Independence, and the Falcons' new king sent Ridgeview to the dungeon. Pick it up in the third, Indy up 2 scores and looking for more. Anthony Rico breaks tackle after tackle. He finished with 103 yards, and that score, 25-6 Falcons. Wolfpack mounting a late comeback. Zamir Hall had 133 yards on the ground in this touchdown, but Indy's defense would hold on after that. Falcons edge out the pack 25-20. Only one Thursday night game this week due to all of the cancellations up north, East taking on South. Late second quarter, Blades up 7-0 and on the move. Matthew Moore hits Lorenzo Patino over the middle. He does the rest. 14-zip East. Ensuing kick, Blades opt for the onside. That's a bad call. South Samuel De La Cruz scoops up the ball and sprints 70 yards for the score. Spartans would take over after half. They win it 35-12. Fresh off a bye, the Trojans were eaten alive in Bear Country. Second quarter, Arvin on the move. Omar Prado with a screen pass to Jack Kasinger. Dodges some defenders and he's off to the races. Prado was 6-9 for 185 yards in that score. Kasinger caught 3 passes for 59 yards. Arvin takes it 21-14. Golden Valley looking for 3 in a row for the first time since that spring 2020 season. Off to a promising start. First quarter, Tyjon Jones bullies his way in for the short score, 7-0 Dogs. Second quarter now, Vikings drop anchor. Edwin Gonzalez on the toss, stays upright. West comes back and beats Golden Valley 24-19. Miramonte outdueled the Conquistadors 42-25, and Kern Valley fell to Bishop Union 26-6. That's a look around the county from Week 9 of the high school football season. Well, the playoff picture continues to become a little clearer. Here's a look at the top of the central section according to Cal Preps. Now, most of the teams coming out of the North Valley, including Clovis West right there in the top spot at 8-0. You can see Liberty is slotted in at number 3. They're our only team in the top 5. Now, let's look at the rest of the top 10. Rounding out here, you see CVC, St. Joe's, Kingsburg, Clovis East, and Lemoore. That's because Centennial lost to Liberty, which means they're on the outside looking in, sitting at number 11. Well, Coach, coming up here on FFX, you're going to like this one. Canyon's 8-year reign over your Renegades comes to an end as BC outlasts the Cougars down south. Coach breaks it all down. What went right? What went wrong? Ahead.
You're watching
FFX is proud to be fitted by Finos. When it comes to quality men's suits in Bakersfield, Finos menswear and tuxedo is. Huddle up. It's time for Coach's Corner with Renegade head football coach R. Todd Littlejohn.
So true story. I call Coach sometimes just to talk about football, and he has to bear through it because he's on the show with me. He's got no other choice. But one of the things that we have talked about all season long, not just in the NFL, not just in college football, not just in high school football, has been kind of the average level of play across the board. It doesn't seem like we have that many dominant teams. It doesn't seem like we have that many truly bad teams. Right. Why do you think that is in football right now, where it seems like anybody can be anybody?
I think at the high school level, you may or may not have players who are interested in playing, and so you might lose some of your better players if your freshman team or your JV program wasn't as good, or they were good, You're seeing a lot of parity right now in general, which as a fan, I think that's exciting because there are no dominant teams every single year.
It makes it hard for us when we try to play contenders or pretenders because it's kind of all over the place. What are the games this year that have really struck a chord with you at the high school level where you've gone, wow, I can't believe that result?
Right. BHS and Highland. I mean, that You don't, again, me in the tradition of the drillers, you don't lose the Highland ever. And, so that was really, really surprising to see. Man, that's a tough one. I think even with Garces, not doing as well, as they were expected to do. And now, granted, they played some better teams and ranked teams and all that, but you just see the differences every week, which to me, as I tell our players, the game's not played on paper.
Well, the thing is, we try to predict here, but we're not always good at it. But here's the thing. I have him do it. So it's time for our picks of the week. That's right, Coach. We're going to have you put on your prognosticator hat.
Okay. And,
Coach, right now it is two of the top teams in Kern County. It's the Liberty Patriots at the Frontier Titans. Who you got?
Right now, I'm going to go with Liberty. They played really well the other night. I think they're starting to hit on all cylinders now, utilizing all of their weapons.
All right, you mentioned Garces, and then there's Centennial. They want to get back in the winner's circle, Coach. Who you got?
I'm going to take Centennial because I think they will. They'll learn from that loss, and I think they'll get back rolling.
Kennedy, who didn't get to play last week, against Shafter. Who you got?
Whoa, this could go either way. I'm going to go with Shafter, and I know Kennedy might be upset with me, but I'm going to go with Shafter on this one.
Those are your picks of the week. Well, it's time for your Renegade Report. Now, Coach, I keep saying that you guys use some kind of black magic to get rid of the curse of Canyons. It was 8 years in a row that you guys had lost to Canyons. A lot of that predated your time, but you didn't even know about this.
Didn't even know about it until literally the next day. And as I told our team, we weren't here. I wasn't here for the first six. The previous six, we felt like Canyons got away with one last year. So unbeknownst to me, hey, it works.
Well, it's a new era, certainly, of BC, and you guys were coming off a bye. You were looking for back-to-back road wins for the first time since you took over. And guess what? In the first quarter, Canyons jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Not what you want to see, Bryce Dixon to Jacoby Taylor.
Not at all. He got behind our defender. We felt like his eyes were in the backfield, but something that we could definitely clean up, and we did.
Okay, you guys drive downfield. Joseph Campbell plows his way into the end zone. So you tie it up, then you take the lead, and this was the big play, Coach.
Yes, it was. And prior to that, we had great 2-minute drill, and now getting the ball to our playmaker, Jihad Marks, for a great run right there and really, stretch that lead.
All right, that run makes it 17-7. The defense would take over, and man, would it. 17-7. That was your final coming out of this one. So the Renegades move to 3-3 on the season. You got a date with Ventura, but I want to talk about this game some more. What were your key takeaways, Coach?
Well, we took advantage of the bye week. Our coaches did a great job of game planning. We talk about no turnovers. We didn't have any turnovers. We got 3 fourth down stops by our defense. Our special teams coverage was awesome because we put them in tough field position. And then that 4th and goal going into the half really separated us, and even from a mentality standpoint. So it was great to see those things.
He's locked in for Ventura. That does it for Renegade Report, but stick around because it's time to break out your Sunday best. We introduce the FFX Play and Player of the Week. That's next.
FFX is proud to partner with Valley Sports Media. Follow at V Sports Media for exclusive football content throughout the season. It's trophy time. The FFX Awards, brought to you by Jerry's Pizza and Pub.
Welcome back. If you've ever watched the SportsCenter Top 10, you know most of the amazing plays showcased have something to do with some kind of sensational athletic or acrobatic move, but sometimes it's the sheer nature of a unexpected call that has us spotlighting a moment. Coach, it's time to hand out some hardware. That's right, our FFX Play of the Week comes courtesy of BCHS and Garces, and this is a good one. It's a little halfback toss, some trickery, Coach.
Gotta love the trickeration. Anytime you put it in your game plan, the players are wanting that play to be run, and Garces has been running the ball very effectively, so great time to do it. Absolutely.
Juju Smith with the catch there. Coach, they went all in on this play.
Right. How about the pass?
I know.
Always you never know if that's going to be a spiral, but good job by him.
That is your Play of the Week.
Your FFX Player of the Week is presented by Vertical Raise, the premier online fundraising platform.
Well, this is certainly a first on FFX. AJ Anderson, he's our Player of the Week. It's the second time he's been in studio, but the first time he's brought an entire entourage. AJ, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your performance this past week. Who do you have with us?
We have number 55, Mark Jr., number 59, Cameron Westerby, number 75, Jason Garcia, and number 77, Andre Stevens.
These are the guys that have helped fuel you to have one of the best seasons that we've seen out of Tehachapi in recent times. AJ, what was that win like against North on Friday night?
It was great. The team played all around very well. Defense was very good. The first quarter had a little bit of struggle during the second quarter, but nothing, or second half, but nothing that we couldn't figure out.
All right, you guys got challenged by North in the second half, but you came back and won that game 32-28. What can you say about the resilience of this group, the resilience of those men behind you to make sure that you guys came back and won this game?
I mean, it was great. We got faced with adversity a little earlier in the season, so we knew a few touchdowns, get behind the board. We've been there before. We knew that we could come back.
What's the thought process now, obviously, as you wrap up the regular season and then going into the playoffs?
Yeah, it's take it 1 week at a time, make sure we're planning, do everything right, and be prepared.
All right, AJ Anderson and his entire offensive line. Mountain football is back, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it for this Sunday expanded edition of FFX. For more high school football coverage, just head to kgt.com, click on that icon right there. Maybe you'll see a little bit more of AJ and his team from Tehachapi. Have a good night.